If you want to cultivate the land in South Africa, say these farmers, this is the sort of training you need.
I've been attacked myself, and these attackers were trained very well. So and I got shot in my face, and you can see the marks over there. And I got stabbed 9 times by a knife, but I survived.
Good. It's pretty intense, isn't it?
This is not intense. What's happening in our country.
Everyone near me, come here.
And I get very emotional about it.
Come here, guys. What is happening in South Africa?
Our people are getting murdered, tortured.
Where's everyone?
Our old people who can't defend themselves are being burned with cooking oil.
And usually they don't steal anything, so there's something, we don't know what it is, but they are just getting murdered, and then they leave.
Our ancestors, our fathers, grandfathers, this is what we were born to do. I mean, where do I go? I can't just pack up here and leave everything we've done here.
I was shot 2 times there, one here, and the other one went in here. And it went out of the back of my neck.
I can't get that out of my head because I believe if that shot went down, the next one was for me. I am very angry because we haven't done anything to anybody. Why? What is the reason?
I cannot explain it. It's hatred from them. And the most thing they want to do is to disarm our white people. They want our guns, they want our money, and they want our land. That's the main thing.
You can't just leave, pack up and leave. There's guys that do it, but in a couple of years they're back. They don't survive overseas. I mean, you put your life... Sorry about this. This is taking me very seriously. You can't leave this place, really. Sorry.
They've been murdered for some time now. They are coming to take the land as well. And I think that's very hard to conclude that there's not a racist motive.
My mother was lying face down, hands tied behind her back. My dad had a big gaping hole like the size of a golf ball in his throat. There was a pool of blood here all over. When I touched him, he was cold already. My mother was lying face down, but she was still hot. But I couldn't feel a pulse. Their throats were slit. They were tortured here. I found an iron cord around my mother's neck. She was obviously, they tortured her, and then they killed him, yeah, when they're done. My dad always said, it's not if, it's when.
Did he?
Yeah, he knew it's coming. We all know it's coming. It's just a question of when.
My ma het nie woorde gehad nie, want ek het haar gevra, "Mama, wat gaan aan? Sê my wat gaan aan," want sy het so geruk toe my pa haar bel dat sy nie kon praat nie. En al wat sy kon uitkry is oupa, ouma vermoor. En ek het in mekaar ingesak, ek het gehuil en ek het nie geweet wat om te doen nie. Ek was baie naby aan hulle en hulle was albei wonderlike, sagte mense, kinders van die Here. Ek weet nie, as ek kamer toe gaan dit my laaste dag wees nie. Ek weet nie of ek ook weer gaan opstaan nie.
My one neighbor, Hannes Kitching, and his wife, they were murdered about 6 months ago. Then there's Miss Simpson, Nikki Simpson. She was tortured, drilled through her knees and feet. Then there's Piet Higu, also a neighbor not far from here. He was shot. Carl Hall was shot. So in the last 10, 20 years in this area, I can name 20, 30 attacks, murders on farmers.
During the calendar year of 2017, there's been 84 farm murders that we could verify. And when we say we could verify, we mean we have a list and we have the names of the people actually who've been murdered. Certainly robbery plays a role and the intention to steal plays a role, but certainly there's enough evidence that racism plays a big role.
My personal opinion about this is that these farm attacks are partially motivated by money, greed, and partially about politics. And, you know, the situation in our country. And not only do they kill, but the way they kill. They torture you. They hurt you, and this is hate. This is political hate.
Hi, my name is Jacques Barnard. I just want to say to the fake media, sorry, it's happening on a daily basis. It has happened to me numerous of times. We've had a farm invasion. Luckily, my dad was able to save us. My grandfather was murdered on his farm. I've had 2 vehicles stolen from me. I've had a home invasion. Luckily, I wasn't there, but they stole everything. I had another home invasion where they assaulted my mother. Luckily, we were able to fight them off and get them out of the house. So, all we're asking is for you guys to do the research. Find out for yourselves. Don't believe the media. They are lying. They're trying to cover it up. But unfortunately, it's true. People are dying every day in South Africa.
My name is Belinda, and I'm a Afrikaans-speaking Boere meisie. Today, on the 1st of September 2018, I just planted my dad's cross here. He was murdered 25th of May 2017. There's over 4,000 crosses on this mountain. This is a monument. If you look down, I'm at the back of it. There are just thousands of crosses, and they're all over the mountains. We need help.
Hello guys, I am a South African, I am a Boer. My own story, in my family, my great aunt and great uncle were tortured to death for 6 hours, and their throats were slit. They were tortured with big knives, and later, when they were already dead, their blood was taken, and on the walls of the farmhouse it was written in their blood 666 white devils. Now this is a reality for every single South African. Every single white South African knows a person or had a family member murdered in such a way. So I just want to get this message out there to the international community and tell everyone else that this is the truth about what's going on in South Africa. And you don't have to believe me. Investigate for yourself. Look for yourself on YouTube, on Google, on any of these platforms. You will find videos of the black politicians actively endorsing mass slaughter of white people. Thank you.
My name is Mariandra Yennes, and I'm a survivor of a farm attack. My husband was shot 6 times during such an attack. He was murdered in cold blood in front of me and my 6-year-old daughter. He was shot 6 times, and the last one was in the head. I had to pick up our broken life after that. I had to give birth to our 4th child, our son, 5 days after Daddy's funeral. These attacks do happen. It happens almost daily. Our story is one of thousands. What would you do if it happens to you or to your loved ones? What would you do if you had to raise 4 little children alone after your husband was murdered in cold blood and they stole nothing? How would you feel if you had to slip in the blood of your loved one? The smell of it seeping through the floors of your house, the house you were supposed to be safe in. These attacks happen, and it happens to good and normal people. What would you do if this happened to you? What would you do if your government denies that it happens? Would you keep quiet? Help us to spread awareness of these farm murders, because they do happen. We appeal to you to help us.